Welcome back to another episode of ROC Boys Football. We are ripping another Dallas Cowboys 2022 NFL mock with the full 7 picks. We got our Cowboys expert here with us in Noah Rockoff. You got a different scenario for us this year. Last week, Coop was taking a walk, and we had to replace him with a wide receiver. What do you got for us this week here?
Yeah, so this week we're keeping Curse. We're listening to the people in the comments. We're gonna keep the safety.
Yep.
They were pissed about that, so we'll still try to grab one, but we'll keep him as a strong safety, and then we'll keep Amari Cooper, and then we're gonna let Randy Gregory, and we're gonna let Michael Gallup walk. So looking at the cap scenario, that kind of fits in terms of the money that we'd be saving by not signing Randy and Gallup. Keep our number one wideout, and then keeping our stud strong safety from last year.
All right, so let's kick this one off. Last week we went Jahan Dotson first round.
No, Zion.
That's right. Who's a very good pick.
Yeah.
We ended up getting John Dotson in the second round, and we did that trade, and we had Devontae Wyatt as well.
Like that a lot. People were mad that we didn't take Linderbaum. I mean,
and I get it. Like, I like Tyler Linderbaum too, but Zion Johnson is very good. He'll be probably not better than him as center, but very good. Oh, I really wanted Jermaine Johnson. That's too bad.
And Linderbaum, so we have to deal with him.
This is another good trade offer, but let's just see who's on. I mean, you have Nakobe Dean. You have Dax Hill. We're just going to reject it. We're going to raw dog this one.
Okay.
What are you thinking? Icky.
So I don't think Icky will be there. So that's tough to see him there, because that would be the pick. But for argument's sake, we're going to keep him off the board. Now we did sign Curse back, but we need a free safety, because Curse cannot cover like Dax Hill can. I know you're a Michigan boy. If you want to talk about him a little bit, I'd be totally okay with Dax in the first.
So 2 prospects I think you have to think about: Dax Hill, Nakobe Dean. I think position need in both ways. You said it, free safety. Dax Hill might be, I mean, outside of Kyle Hamilton, Dax Hill is my second safety. The dude has freak range. He's going to run in the 4.3s, flies around the ball. He didn't really get to show off that range because he's playing mostly in the nickel at Michigan his last year there. But he showed like the ability to be in man coverage extremely well. He has great ball skills, and the range is going to be fine. I think the biggest knock on him is maybe the frame's a little small, but he plays pretty physical. I have a top 20 grade on this dude, like former 5-star. I know you hate the star rakes, but
don't matter.
The dude's a baller. Then you also have Nakobe Dean.
And that's tough, because depending on what we do with Micah, and I think LVE is gone as well this year, so we'll add him to that kind of scenario. Nakobe would step in and be our second best linebacker, depending on what you see Micah as, not just a utility knife.
Now, the thing with the linebackers is, like, there are a lot of very good linebackers that I'm high on late day 2, early day 3.
I'm coming around to Leo Chenal, by the way.
I love it. I'm happy to hear that. So apparently we watched those 2 games, Notre Dame and Michigan. Those were his first 2 games of the season. He had COVID the first 2 seasons. So maybe that's a excuse for why the film wasn't as good, because he was much better in other games.
Right.
But again, like, there's some really good linebackers here late. I also really like Terrell Bernard. I like Troy Anderson, and you know how I feel about Channing Tindall, Quay Walker. So I'm leaning Dax Hill here.
I like it. I think that he can also play down the slot. You put him at cornerback.
You can do anything you want with this dude. I mean, he was projected to maybe play cornerback in the league. He played cornerback last year at Michigan. I think he's best at safety.
Keep an eye on McDuffie. Apparently his testing numbers are off the charts pre-combine, and him and his buddy Gordon are gonna.
Kyler Gordon's the one who's a freak. Gordon is a freak. But Trey McDuffie just put up the better film. I think people worry about, like, the measurements, a little bit shorter and maybe the long speed, but we'll see at the combine. But you can't ignore just, like, the sheer great film you put out. Zion Johnson's there at 56.
Yeah. So I love Zion. I think that in terms of value, that would be the best pick in the second round, really.
Yes. He won't be there.
So we saw the safety position. We still have Randy gone. I'd like to see what weak side defensive ends we could look at.
I mean,
don't love it.
Yeah, I don't love him either. He just hasn't put it together yet.
And the only guy that I could see really replacing Randy would be someone like Nick Benito, but again, I wouldn't trust him full time at the edge year one. I know a lot of people love Boye Mafe. I know you and I both are not the biggest Mafe fans.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
yeah, I think the simple choice right here would be Zion.
Yeah, probably has to be, right?
I mean, I don't see him lasting this long, but you never know in the draft. I didn't think CeeDee Lamb would make it to 17. So, that'd be a home run pick for us.
I mean, I get it. Like, the fans are pissed because it's the same player we took last week. You just can't. You can't
pass that up.
So, also, pause the draft real quick. I got filming on Jalen Petrie the other night. He's good. Good ball.
Yeah, finally you come around to the guy. You were like hesitant.
Well, I had this preconceived conception that he was like only a box safety, which I mean, that's where he excels at. He does excel in the tackle box. He's very good at getting in the backfield. He can do more. I was selling him short.
Did you watch that? Was it Oklahoma State they played in the bowl game or the
Ole Miss? Disgusting.
Yeah.
Actually disgusting. He was so good.
Yeah.
Incredible.
All right.
88. Nick Benito's still there. Brandon Smith's still there. Brian Asamoah is still there. Logan Hall is still there. I'm gonna throw this to you. You know the guys. I know you're a huge fan of Brian Asamoah. I've come around to him a little bit. We both like Wayndell Robinson. What are your vibes here? What position are we checking out?
So I love Asamoah. I don't think he could replace a Leighton Vander Esch because you need someone more of like an on the ball linebacker, someone more like Beavers from Cincinnati. But I wouldn't take him right here. I think it's a little bit. See, now that's interesting. Tyndall. We still haven't solved the defensive end issue. What do we have here?
I mean, Nick Benito's still there. That might be the pick. I mean, Nick Benito is one of the best pass rushers in the class. Yes, do we have questions about how he can hold up in the run game? Sure. But like, there's a lot of things you can do with him. I mean, they used him as a spy and was one of the best spies. He's a phenomenal athlete. He's with a disgusting get off. I think you can teach that being a little bit better in the run game. What are you leaning here?
I don't think it's a reach to get Benito here. I think around the third round is where he goes anyway.
Yeah.
I always love to go best player available. I just want to see back what we have.
Yeah.
Like who's the number one? Yeah, he's still up there. See, I have Logan Hall way ahead of Benito. And I think that Logan Hall can play inside and out. I think he played 3 tech. We need him on rushing downs, late third downs. So I would go Logan Hall here. And I think that the position flex is huge. And Dan Quinn would love him. And
Logan Hall is a guy who I think is still has a lot of room to grow. I mean, he came in to Houston at 230 pounds. So he's still filling out the frame, which you like to see. I think it's interesting. So I think this is like the last round where you're really getting a good value at the edge or like good edge prospects. Cause then it falls off. Like Michael Clemens still a project.
I think Lucetta is intriguing.
Yes.
We're into the 4th round.
Yes, I agree. I don't think he's going to be like a stud, but I think he's going to be a solid football player. But like after that round 3, Logan Hall, Nick Benito, I think Logan Hall would go higher. Sounds like the NFL is a little bit higher on him than this database is.
And I mean, if Leo Chenal's still there, I don't know if he's been taken yet. I'd be okay with him.
I'm so happy you're coming around to me. Because he gets a bad rep because he's a white dude. He's 260 pounds. Okay, he's not a modern day linebacker because he can't move, but like
I think he moves better than when you think he would. It's just it's deceiving. It's deceiving. It's very
my biggest problem is he gets like 2 downhill where it's like he's just like a battering ram running into the offensive line. And yes, does that work sometimes when he just blows up plays? You don't get 11.5 sacks and 17.5 tackles for a loss by chance. Like he's in the backfield a lot.
Right.
Like it definitely comes at a price of like, okay, you're playing like a lunatic sometimes.
So here I'd be interested in what we have at wide receiver.
Okay.
Just because we're letting Gallup walk and we need somebody. Sky Moore would be really, really, really nice. Drummond, great. And Rambo is also awesome. So to replace Gallup, you need someone who can kind of stretch the field a little bit. And there's Leo Chenal, there's Troy Anderson. Wow, we got
Troy Anderson, man. He was legit. Like I didn't really know who he was. Haven't watched any Montana State football.
Mm-hmm.
Watched his highlights of him as a quarterback his freshman year.
It's crazy.
I can't tell if he's just an absolute phenomenal athlete or it's FCS football. Probably a mix of both.
Yeah.
But like he's disgusting. Like he was so fast, bro.
I think he's got like the school record for passing yards, and he's also their best linebacker ever. It's some crazy
It's
stuff
nuts.
behind him.
It's
I don't know
nuts.
the yeah.
And part of being like when you played quarterback, I get it was a little bit more of like a run heavy system that they ran, but like you're smart. You're the smartest player on the field. And like
Yeah.
at linebacker, a lot of that transitions, like seeing the field a little bit better or at a higher level than a lot of people. So that's an intriguing prospect.
So go to edge. I want to find some prospect, and now Dominique Robinson would be a fantastic player that you could kind of stash year one. Let him fill out the frame a little bit.
Yes.
Learn behind D-Law and Micah, I guess, now could teach him, even though he's still raw as a pass rusher. Someone who's like an athletic freak, Gumby like.
D'Angelo Malone's also like that.
Yep.
Longer.
That
gets bad after that.
See, I think it's a little like I wish it was almost close to the 5th round where we're at for Robinson, but I'd be okay with that just because we do need to replace Randy. And if it's not this year, we need someone stashed away next year that can kind of fill in. And
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that the wide receiver is also great, but it's such a deep class that I feel like we could wait off another round.
The wide receiver class is like deep, but I think if you want to get like a very good talent, it has to be inside the second. Like Mechie and Wendell Robinson are like the last couple of guys that I feel comfortable taking. And then I like Charleston Rambo. I know a lot of people do like Sky Moore. I haven't really watched enough of him, and I liked Ontario Drummond, but like there's definitely like in my mind a drop off after like the Mechie, Wendell Robinson.
Yeah. And I mean, in terms of someone who can do what Gallup did, I mean, you're not seeing him right now. I mean, Rambo's kind of a possession guy. Sky Moore, he can take the top off of defense, but Drummond more of a possession guy as well. Get the ball in his hands early and let him run, which we already have seeded.
I like Charleston Rambo a lot. I mean, he was in kind of an offense. Once Tyler Van Dyke came in, it was a little bit better, but he's definitely a possession receiver with a big frame.
Let's go with edge. I want to zero in on an edge rusher right now. And I know I did say Lucetta, and I did love his Senior Bowl, and his tape isn't that bad. I think that he produced well. What would you do? Let me ask you that. What would you do here if you're looking for a guy that maybe not a year one guy, but someone that you can?
It would be a Dominique Robinson. If you want a guy who has this tremendous upside, it's him, maybe D'Angelo Malone. If you want a guy who's more like come plug and play and not be a liability, Jesse Lucetta, Josh Pascal. So it's kind of my feeling. And so you want to take a flyer, Dominique Robinson.
Yeah. So do you think Lucetta, like, I think he's still pretty malleable as a prospect. I think that he still has a lot of ceiling left. Do you see that? Like, do you see that in him?
Haven't watched a ton of them. It's been a little bit more like I was watching Arnold Abedike.
Yeah.
And then like you see Jesse Lucetta. I don't see him like if we're talking about who has a higher ceiling, I think it's Dominique Robinson.
Yeah. Well, let's go with him then. Let's do it. Our future edge rusher there.
So he was like he has an interesting story. So he was like quarterback, wide receiver, now edge. Like this is like been bouncing around. But what's that tell you? He's a freak athlete. I mean,
exactly.
Nuts.
They don't last long in the draft. Those freaks that shouldn't be playing edge that can somehow manage.
Troy Anderson could have been the pick there. Now that I think about it, we could have gone linebacker there.
We'll get lucky. I have a good feeling about what we're going to see at linebacker.
It better be Leo Chanel.
You're gonna don't manifest
do it to us.
Else. Come on.
Damn it.
They don't even need a linebacker. Come on.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I think Leo Chanel would be a great feeling for LVE, 100%. Now it gets down as a pretty significant drop off.
There's some free agents. We don't need to worry about it. Max Mitchell will be a good pick right here.
Farnham, I think, is a good look.
Yeah.
I mean,
we already got Zion.
Offensive line.
What wide receivers are we looking at?
Let's take a peek. Drummond's probably would be my pick.
Yeah, I think that's honestly where I'd go to, just because even though he's not going to replace Gallup, just getting another body, talented wide receiver that can catch anything and make some people miss. Yeah,
I wish like we got to see a little bit more Deebo Samuel-esque. I feel like an idiot like comping people to Deebo Samuel because it's the same thing when you comp someone to like Aaron Donald, where it's like Aaron Donald makes it work because he's a freak. Deebo Samuel, in a very similar way. That being
Yeah.
said, like I get those vibes. Like it's hard to ignore. And it's like kind of like a Laviska Chenault. Like I think the Jags should use Chenault in a little bit of a way that D, but not necessarily exactly like it, but the idea of getting the ball in his hands in space and letting him be an athlete.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, 176. This is a comp pick, I believe.
Yep. Can't trade out of this.
Max Mitchell's a good look at just a developmental guy.
Yeah.
Josh Pascal, I like him a lot.
Yep. There's Nick Cross. See,
Dax
if we didn't get
not
Dax,
bad.
if we didn't get Dax, I'd be okay with that. But we kind of have Nick
Mhm.
Cross on steroids already in the first round.
Yep.
I'd be okay with another edge. I'd be okay with a defensive tackle. What kind of big boys we have? Like some what was the quote? Brick shit houses. That's what we need. Neil Farrell. I mean, he's kind of a.
How did you describe him? Now I just couldn't stop.
He was a tree stump with legs. That's literally what he is. That's all he is.
I got a text at like midnight from Rock. He's grinding film and he goes, Neil Farrell is a tree stump with legs. And I was like, that's so funny.
And that's kind of what we need though, is we have like the Osa Digizua, we have the Neville Gallimore. I don't know if we're going to be able to re-sign Brent Urban, who is kind of our lost piece in the middle of the year as a run stopper. So I would be okay with that here. I don't know too many of the other guys. I know Noah Ellis is getting some looks.
I know Marquand McCall is literally Q Bohanna in the Flash, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know how many. The only problem with those guys is like
you can play them on 1.5 downs.
Yeah, it's like it's the same idea you guys hear me talk about with Jordan Davis. Like, are you really going to use a top 20 pick on a guy who can play 1.5 downs?
But this is where you take that.
Yes, but then I agree. Like late 5th, 6th, 7th, that's where you want to look at. This guy from Iowa State is actually very athletic for like he played edge at Iowa State in that 3-5.
You're taking an Iowa State defensive lineman not named Will McDonald? That's scary.
Is Will McDonald still on the board?
No, I doubt it. No way.
You love him.
He doesn't. If he's on the board, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think he is. Yeah, you love him.
Let's go with a defensive tackle. We already have.
This is such a boring pick.
Yeah, I know. Right. I'm sorry, but let's.
Does it have to be Neil Farrell, or can I?
No,
I don't want to pick a tree stump. Why don't we do Noah Ellis? He's a dog.
Yeah, he can do some things. He can do some more than Neil Farrell.
The tree stump.
I don't think Farrell gets drafted in the top five rounds. I think he's like a 7th round pick to me.
Those guys are, man. Like that's what I always do is like when I'm doing these mocks like that, I take one of those like tree stump guys in the 7th where it's like.
Yeah. Did you like a Tito from UCLA? I did not like his tape at all. I think that
he's at the Senior Bowl. I haven't seen any of his tape though.
His tape is not pretty. He had his best game against Donovan West, which is someone I actually really like, but the rest of his tape is just no power behind him. It is frustrating to say the least. All right.
I mean, Nick Cross wouldn't be like.
I know it really wouldn't be a bad pick. So right now, this is a hypothetical. We signed Curse back, but again, he's not a free safety.
Yeah.
We have, besides him in the safety room, we have Donovan Wilson. That's it.
And this is where you pick in depth. Like you're not getting starters you feel great about trotting out there. So like Nick Cross is like he's a good tackler. He's a physical safety.
And he'll play special teams. And that's something that the Cowboys always look for in their later round picks is someone who can double up as a special team player. Don't you say Nazir Greer.
No, I won't. I won't. Nick Cross. I like that pick.
Yeah.
I watched a little Maryland. I'm a little bit of a Terp. I watched a little bit of Maryland football, mostly.
You get around to the tight end yet?
No, I haven't. But I do remember him. Like I remember them talking about him when I was watching Michigan. But yeah.
Interesting.
Entering round 7. Let's see here. I'm trying to find some diamonds here.
Yeah, just find someone shot in the dark. That's what the 7th.
I mean, Dylan Parham.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. We're not even going to do it. We're going to respect the mock. There's your guy, right? There he is.
And we do need to. Ian Thomas getting a 4-year, $16.6 million deal is the biggest heist in the NFL history. Yeah. Like, what are we doing? They just got the kid from Notre Dame, Tremble, last year, who's way better of a player.
Good on that agent, man. Like that agent's a phenomenal. Like I don't know how he was able to swindle that.
Yeah,
but good on him.
But the reason I say that is because Dalton Schultz is gone too, and that's a fact that us Cowboys fans need to get around.
Yeah.
To.
So somebody said that in the comments, like a tight end?
Yeah. And I think that honestly, Hayden Hurst and Dak Prescott are like best friends ever since the
Oh
whole
yeah, the mental health
mental
stuff.
health
Yeah,
thing. And
yeah.
so I could see that as a possible free agent fit. I think Hurst won't go for much more than the vet minimum. So tight end's not something that you want to get a rookie to step in year one anyway, because it's tough to trust him as a blocker and a receiver as well.
And
So
there's not that many guys outside of Trent McBride who I like love as like a two-way tight end who can do it all. I love Trent McBride.
Yeah.
He's more of just a solid guy with less of like a super upside. Like he's not going to be any like Travis Kelce, but he's going to be a damn good tight end. All right, let's break this down. Dax Hill and Zion Johnson is a phenomenal start.
Even if you flipped it, it's still insane value. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, we got Zion Johnson in the first round, the first mock we did.
Yeah.
And so then that's like the idea of like, I don't love taking interior offensive linemen that early because I think there's guys like Dylan Parham, like Jamari Salyer, who you can get in like the third and fourth round who have good value as well. And like, are you getting that much more production out of Zion Johnson than you are?
I think so.
Salyer? Maybe Zion Johnson because he is truly very good. Yeah, that's a good pick. Logan Hall, I don't like him as much as you.
Steal the draft. That's
steal the draft. I mean, 88. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Dominique Robinson. I haven't like watched film on him. I've more just like read about him and watched some highlights, and I mean, it's there. Like the juice is there for sure. Drummond at wide out. Again, he's one of my guys.
I think so. I don't know how much Cowboys football you watched, but it was so incredibly frustrating how we played offense. It was screen, short slant, screen, every single play. And I mean, if we're going to stick to that, then Dontario Drummond fits that perfectly. Yeah. If we're going to change it up though, I don't know about it, but still great player. I love him so much.
It seems like the offense, because like when I watched the Cowboys early in the season and not meaningless games, but games like week 7, not as high stakes, the offense would cook a little bit. Yeah. But when the games got like more meaningful and all the chips were pushed to the middle of the table, like they puckered up pretty good.
Yeah. And CD even said that in an interview right after the Pro Bowl. Like the first 6 weeks before Dak's calf injury, they were throwing the ball down the field. We're taking shots deep. After that, everything just slowed down. So hopefully it wasn't Dak's health that was the issue. It was just more the play calling.
I think it was just, tight play. I mean, Michigan's gone through that plenty where it's like, we'll run it up on a team like Maryland in our offense. Like, where is this all year? And then we get into like the fourth quarter against Michigan State and we're running like just like the most plain vanilla offense because we're scared to make a move. I think a lot of teams kind of get into that. But the first 2 picks are dynamite. I think the first 3 picks, quite frankly, are dynamite. I wish we got like a Leo Chenal around this range. Because like the 128, there's still going to be good linebackers on the board. I think you could have even gone like Brian Asamoah, which I get maybe he's not the best fit. Yeah. Like you got to have a linebacker who can kind of take on blocks and be physical, and that's not really him. Channing Tindall could have been the pick. But Leo Chenal and maybe with instead of Dominique Robinson, and then grab like Josh Pascal a little later. But I mean, Dominique Robinson.
I'm happy with it. I like it.
Oh, this is a money draft, 100%. I think especially because you make your money in your first 3 picks, and I think we hit on our first 3 picks. I mean, those 3 guys we love. That'll do it though. Appreciate you guys obviously rocking with the ROC Boys as usual. We'll be back trying to rip a Dallas Cowboy mock a week. You guys seem to love them. We got a lot of Dallas Cowboys subscribe to the channel, so we appreciate all of that. And we'll be back with some more NFL draft. We actually got a 4-person mock draft coming up tomorrow. I'm pumped for it. It's always a good time with the boys to get some banter going. And so
we got a special occasion coming up soon. And if anyone's watching this, we're almost at 500 subscribers. So once that happens, we got to throw a little bit of a party because that's an accomplishment. So if you're watching, hit the sub button, get us up there. So.
Appreciate y'all. Talk to y'all later. Peace.